night descends with shadows deep. In blood heaven, no souls asleep. The blood moon rises in crimson light, casting its light upon the night. Winds howl through the hollow trees, a whispering chant carried on the breeze. Under the blood moon, in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Lanterns flicker, casting ghastly forms. In the cemetery something stirs and storms. The graves crack open, their secrets revealed. In Bloodhaven no fate is sealed. A chill creeps in through stone and bone, as spirits of the lost make their presence known. Under the blood moon, in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Through cobbled streets, footsteps fade, ghostly hands reach from the grave. No mercy here in the blood moon's glow. Bloodhaven's light is all you'll know. Under the blood moon, in Bloodhaven skies, darkness awakens and the dead arise. Wolves in the distance, the witch's song. In Bloodhaven streets the night belongs. Beneath the blood moon's gaze the shadows sway. In Bloodhaven's light the night will stay.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Inner Sleuths live stream. Today, we got some info about the next phase for PAX Day. What does the future of PAX Day look like? We've talked about so many different things here on the channel. All of the updates, all the different directions that PAX Day has been heading in, the different things that it has been having added to it, some things that have been removed from it. We've covered everything here on the channel. Well, today we just got a little more information about what the future holds for PAX Day. There's a lot in this that some people are going to like, but I think a lot of people that I've spoken with aren't that big on PvP, especially in PAX Day with the way that the systems are currently set up. We're going to read about what Mainframe's vision is for PAX Day in regards to its PvP. They have some of that in here. It's going to be ups, it's going to have downs, it's going to have everything in between. But as always, we are going to talk about it truthfully here with you all. I really want to hear from you all in the audience. Make sure you share this with your friends so they can tune in as well and share their thoughts. My favorite thing to do is to chat with you guys live. Sitting down, looking back at PAX Day, looking at the things we have to come, and just talking about what we like, what we don't like, the things that we think they should implement, criticizing some things, praising some other things. That's my favorite thing to do, is to hear from you guys. Got a bunch of people in chat. We got Maven, Salty, Pickle, Ange, Tom. We got Jacksum, Dragon. Great to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I know interest in PAX Day has been waning quite heavily. We have been enjoying Ashes of Creation quite a bit. It's been a lot of fun. We've been playing a lot of other games. Let's go ahead and check the numbers here. I like to do this from time to time. Gives us a good picture of what the player base is like, because you can really tell how many people are enjoying the game based on the numbers. You can see this drop off here from when the last patch came out, and they're down to A Friday afternoon. This is a Friday evening. This is prime time when people are playing video games. And we're down to 182 players. 24-hour peak of 287. A far cry from their initial launch window. Let's go back and look at the whole thing. You can see here when it dropped off. You could see each of the spikes when the different big patches came out. Verse 4, I don't think they're planning a wipe for Verse 4. I think they're just going to be implementing these PvP changes. But there's a lot to unpack in this. I'm going to be doing a poll. I want to see if you guys enjoy PvP in PAX Day. How you guys have been liking the combat system, because I think that's really important. I think the combat system is pivotal to a PvP system. If the combat is bad, you're not going to want to engage with PvP, let alone PvE, really. I mean, we know that we're not getting world bosses or any bosses in dungeons, at least anytime soon, even remotely. They've made that clear in their last post. We've talked about that. Make sure you guys check out the previous episodes of PaxCast so you can catch up on all that if you've been behind on any of the news and you want to know about some of the other changes that they've been implementing and their vision for the game. But they basically told us we're not getting mounts for travel. We may get mounts to help carry some of our stuff, but we're not going to have mounts to ride around on anymore. And we're not getting any world bosses. We're not getting any bosses in any dungeons, but they may be adding in some more mob types at some point. Maybe we'll finally get to see that Zebian tank. But this breakdown of the PvP system is going to be make or break for a lot of people, because this is going to be the end game. The end game of PAX Day is going to be PvP, and it is going to be brutal. I'm talking brutal. Now, we're coming from Ashes of Creation we've been playing a lot of right now. The PvP over there can be brutal. You can kill anybody anywhere at any time, but it has a proper law and order system in order to kind of de-incentivize people from being the bad guy. Gives you a little bit of inherent protection, and you don't lose all of your gear when you die. They have a really refined system, honestly. I quite like it. We haven't experienced too much with it, but it's kind of a unique system. In PvP and PAX Day, I think, is going to be absolutely brutal. But let's get into this. First, we got a couple of announcements. Tomorrow, we're going to be at the Bristol Renaissance Fair. So if anyone's wanting to come out, meet and greet, I got some giveaways to give to people. I don't know how many people are actually going to show up because it was kind of short notice letting people know about it. But if you're in the area or you have the ability to come out to the Bristol Renaissance Fair, that's where I'll be. Me and my wife will be there hanging out. We go there every year to enjoy the festivities. It's a really great place where they have a joust to the death. They have all kinds of games and sports and great food. A lot of really fun stuff. Great place to bring your family and hang out. So if you guys want to come out there, bring your family, bring your friends. Come on out to the Bristol Renaissance Fair if you're able to make it. I will be there. We will be using Discord to communicate, so you guys can find me there and come have a little meet and greet, and I'll have some giveaways. I have some really cool Order of the Blood Brothers emblems to hand out to you guys, as well as those will be coming to, whenever I get a shop, those will be coming as merch at some point as well. We got some things in the works. We're working on it, but we're going to be doing giveaways first at the Bristol Renaissance Fair tomorrow. I'm probably going to be there all day. Maybe not right when they open, but I'm going to try and stay all the way till they close. We'll see. We'll see how long I make it. You're sitting out there, you're baking in the sun. It's kind of a tiring thing, but it is a lot of fun. Ronald and Goreforce, welcome in, guys. Great to see you. Before we get into all this, guys, if you're looking for a great community, join CBU. You've heard me say it a million times. Coming over to CBU, type ! Discord in chat. If you guys are wanting to join us in Ashes, join us in PAX Day, join us in Dune, join us in any of the games we're playing. Very easy to do. Head over to our website, ! website in chat. We'll get you a link over to www.cheekybugger.net, where you guys can fill out your very own application. We had like 6 or 7 applications recently. I got through about half of them. I still have half of them to get through. So if your application is marked pending, make sure you reach out to me on Discord so we can set up a time where we can sit down and chat. Maven says ! Brisket. Oh wait, that doesn't work. I wish. Oh man, if I could type ! Brisket and brisket just popped in front of me, that would be awesome. Raster, are you in the chat? We need to get that brisket app up and running, brother. If you guys want to join us in Ashes as well, same application process. Once you get into the community, you can join any clans, guilds, orgs, private servers, anything like that you guys want to partake in. We're playing all kinds of stuff right now, but we're really going big on Ashes. Tons and tons of people. Every day we have new signups. If you guys are looking to get into Ashes, there's my referral code. Thank you, Maven. You guys can always type ! Ashes. My bot will get you all the information you need. Make sure you use the referral code when you sign up for the game. I'm not here though. I always say this around for referral codes because some people hear, oh, you have a referral code, so you must be getting paid to try and get me to play their game. That's not like that here. I really don't care if you play or not any game, really. I'm not here to try and sell you on PAX Day. I'm not here to try to sell you on Ashes or Dune or WoW or any game at all. I just want to give you guys the information so you can make the educated decision of if the game is going to be for you or not. So that is completely up to you guys. I'm just here to help facilitate the information and chat about this stuff live with you, hear your points of views on all of this stuff. That being said, I do have a referral code. Use it when you sign up, and we get some kickbacks. Works out pretty good. But if you're going to be signing up anyways, might as well use the referral code. We've been having a ton of fun, though. We're in Vexhelm. We've been trying really hard to get it leveled up. It's been a pain in the butt though, but we're doing our best. I do have another podcast called Verifier where we're going to be talking about all the news and happenings in and around Ashes of Creation. So it's much like PaxCast, but it's going to be for Ashes of Creation. And if that sounds good to you guys, make sure you are subscribed so you never miss an upload or a live stream. I like to do a lot of my stuff live because then I can chat with you guys. It's a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Ronald says thank you. Yeah, no problem, man. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. I'm looking forward to picking all of your brains about a lot of these PAX Day changes. I want to get this poll up as soon as possible. Let's go. Let me see here. Let's do. How do you rate combat in PAX Day? And we'll say 10, 9, 8. I'm going to add all of these if it'll let me. Oh, it won't let me. So we'll do 1, 5. This is funny. We'll do 1, 5, 7, and 10. There we go. So how do you rate combat in PAX Day? I know I still got Tangia paused. I know we haven't started this yet, but I want to have this poll up so you guys can get your votes in. We do have a super chat goal of 5 for this stream. You guys have been absolutely smashing my super chat goals, so I greatly appreciate that. Let's go ahead and start this poll. I'm curious how you guys rate combat in PAX Day. So if you rate a 1, it means it's the worst combat you've ever had. 5 means it's middle of the road. 7 is above average. And 10 is you've never had better combat ever. Because I'm just one person. I have my opinion, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear how you guys have enjoyed it. Because if the combat's not right in PAX Day, if the combat's not right, then the PvP is not going to be right. You see what I'm saying? Because they go hand in hand, right? You have to fight people for PvP. It's the whole point of it. So if the combat's not good, the combat has gotten a lot better, and we've talked a lot about that here on the channel. Warforce says, I like it slightly more than Dune, which is why I didn't get Dune. See, everyone has different play styles, right? So that's why I'm just curious, like, generally, what people think of it. Some people like, more slow. Some people like faster combat. Some people like more range. Some people like melee. There's a lot of different preferences out there. That's why there's no right or wrong answer here. Some people may think that it's perfect. Warforce says, and I didn't want to play Dune for its guns. I like the swords in Dune, if I'm being honest. But I'm going to leave that poll up for a while. Looks like it's 62% middle of the road right now, which isn't too bad. That's not could be worse, right? Could be worse, but I'll leave that poll up. And we're going to get into all the news here that we have to go over. If you guys would like to interact with Tangia, you can type !Tangia in chat. It'll bring you over to our Tangia page. There are different dungeons and stuff that people will do over there all the time. Jackson says, I like the swords in Dune as well. Yeah, I really enjoy the swords over there. I guess it got better ways. It got way better with levels. Oh, you're talking about the combat in Dune. Is that what you're talking about, Goreforce? In Dune, the combat gets better with levels? But I've always been a melee fighter, Jackson says. I like it. Yeah, I mean, in most MMOs, like even in WoW, I don't normally go ranged. I normally like the melee. Even in Ashes, I've been using... We got our first Tangia dungeon. Salty, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you. But yeah, even in Ashes, I'm playing melee now as well. All right, let's get into this. There's a lot to unpack here. I don't want this to run too long for you guys, but let's see what they have to say. Let's hear Mainframe out. So changes to the PvP system in PAX Day, everything you need to know. They say this from time to time. They're like, this is all you need to know. And then like they'll have to do an FAQ later. And then the FAQ will have more questions than answers also. They do this a lot. This probably won't have everything that we need to know. This will probably raise more questions than answers. But I did skim it, and it does give us a little bit of insight into the direction they're going. And that's why I say the end game of PAX Day is PvP. So they start off as always by saying, hello Paxians, we're excited to introduce the big changes that will be coming to PvP in PAX Day starting with verse 4. This right here lets us know that verse 4 is going to be a thing. It may not be that far out. I think that it's going to be all the PvP changes. I think that's what verse 4 is going to be. Verse 4 is going to be the PvP extravaganza. And again, from everyone that I've talked to, not a lot of people really enjoy the combat in PAX Day. It's very bland to a lot of people. Again, everyone has their preferences. It's not to say that that's like that for everybody. And then they don't like the prospect of the way that they have the PvP, the idea of the PvP in PAX Day, especially with the full loot. Gorefor says, this artile has me worried. This article has you worried. And they said likely and may so much. Oh, you're talking about like, yeah, the hashtag soon TMs. They said likely and hashtag soon TM, and we might, we can't talk much about it yet. That's kind of their thing. That's kind of their thing, right? I mean, we have a kind of a running joke here, the hashtag soon TMs. They do that to us a lot. But so we know verse 4 is going to be a thing. Hopefully it doesn't come with a wipe. I know a lot of people are like, if they wipe again, the world's just not going to be the same because, again, the numbers are super, super low. There's a couple hundred people playing right now. Ronald says, I'm a crafter / builder only. I hate that I have to do combat at all, but do see where you need to do skinning. And there's a lot of people like that, Ronald. There's a lot of people who are homebodies. And it's actually been really interesting. I think that the gameplay in Ashes actually has a big avenue for people to just be homebodies and be working on the village and city and stuff like that. They can take up residency and then just help the node by producing things. And you can actually level up your main level of your character by doing your professions. It's a really interesting take over in Ashes. Completely different vibe and completely different take on the game. But they're only about two years of development apart from each other. But a completely different take on all that. In PAX Day, you really have to do some form of combat, like you're saying, and not everybody wants to. Not everybody wants to engage in combat. Ronald, what are your feelings on PvP? I'm curious because I really like PvP actually. I quite enjoy PvP, and I like when the combat is really great. I mean, I enjoy World of Warcraft quite a bit. I haven't played it in quite some time now. I haven't played competitive PvP in World of Warcraft for quite some time now, but the risk reward, there's really not a whole lot of risk, and it allows you to then enjoy the systems. I do enjoy when there is a risk reward system because then it incentivizes good behavior. It changes up things and makes it a little more exciting. So I do enjoy a risk reward system, but I feel like the one that PAX Day is going with is just a bit too harsh, and they do touch on that down in their topic. Kev says, almost have my last 24 plot fortress made before I can't really do it again. Oh, you mean when they start charging for the plots? Yeah. Also, welcome into the stream, Kev. Great to have you here. I really want to have your thoughts, being a huge builder that you are. I want to have your thoughts on some of the things when it comes to the PvP zone and the building in the PvP zone, because they do go into some detail on that here. So I'm glad that you're in the audience here, Kev. Great to have you, buddy. Let's see here. So they go on to say, whether you're a seasoned fighter or just dipping your toes into the world of player combat, here's things you need to know about the reworked PvP system. What's changed, what's staying, and how you can prepare. I don't really know if this is going to allow us to prepare too much, but we'll see. We'll see as we break this down. All the details and concepts below are still a work in progress, obviously. I mean, I don't think anyone's holding you to these things like to the dime, right? You're not like, hey, you said you're going to do this, now you have to do this. Now it's a little different when it comes to the mounts, because a lot of people are kind of upset that they're not going to be getting mounts anymore, especially when it's the galloping noise on the starting menu, the screenshots they shown. Even just a couple months ago, they were showing us the development they had on the mounts, and now they're telling us, well, you're not really going to get mounts. Sorry, but we're not going to give you mounts. So That's a little different than this. We're not going to hold them to obviously to these systems. These things are fluid. They're going to have to bake and cook a little bit. Blimpy says, "Oh wow, I'm late as usual." You're right on time. We're just getting into the meat and potatoes here. You missed the whole boring intro stuff, Blimpy, so you're right on time. Great to have you, brother. All of the details are kind of work in progress, and we're eager to get your feedback and suggestions, improving them to ensure that they suit your gameplay style. And I'm not sure that's possible. I'm not sure that they can suit every single person's gameplay style. Unless they're trying to go like WoW full-on theme park, where they have completely separate gameplay styles, where you can choose to do PvP separate of PvP, PvE and PvP completely separate of each other. I'm not sure it's going to be possible to suit everyone's play style. Jimmy! How's it going, Jimmy? Welcome in, brother. I miss you, man. We got to get you in Ashes, dude. I think you'd really, really like it. There's a lot to do in there. But Jimmy says, "I weep for this game." Weep in caps here, guys. He weeps for this game. Such potential, but I see a bad ending coming. A lot of people in that same boat, Jimmy. A lot of people are really feeling it. It's been pulling on people's heartstrings a lot because this game did have a lot of potential. It still does have a lot of potential. I'm not throwing in the towel just yet, guys. I'm not trying to just be all negative, but we will have to talk about bad things and good things mixed together, right? It's not all rainbows and butterflies. That's not what my channel's ever been about. So if you're looking for rainbows and butterflies and you don't want the truth, you're going to have to go somewhere else to get fed those rainbows shot straight up your bum, because that's not going to happen here at all. I'm here to talk cold, hard truth, good, bad, and different, and have honest, good faith conversations with you guys. But Jimmy, I feel that. I think a lot of people feel that. A lot of potential. And let's put it this way. One of my good friends told me it wouldn't take much to make PAX Day a superb game. It really would not take much. It's on the precipice of being something great. It's just missing key elements. It's missing some very important things that it needs. Pickle says, "LOL up your bum." Exactly. That's where rainbows come from, and that's not where I'm here to put rainbows. We're not here to talk about rainbows and butterflies. We're here to talk about cold, hard truth. Jackson says, "Just remember, you're a wizard, Blimpy. You are never late. You are where you are supposed to be when you get there." I like that. Ronald says, "I avoid it like the plague," meaning PvP. You avoid PvP like the plague, and a lot of people do. I normally like PvP if the systems to engage with it are fun and meaningful, and not if they don't have such a high level of entry, right? When it takes so much time just to get into the PvP, it kind of is it's a turnoff from it, you know? So they're eager to get our feedback, they say. Although the last time they had a feedback channel going, they had to close it because I guess it got a little too toxic in there. I don't know. They seem to have Discord moderation issues. They can't really keep a lot of stuff in check over there. New people get attacked. Any critical thinking gets attacked. It's kind of crazy over there. So hopefully they can actually get the information they need from us. Graz says, "Howdy, boss. How's it going, Graz? Great to see you." Kev says, "I just hope when they start charging for plots, etc., they increase the plot size. Since last two wipes, it progressively shrank." I don't see that happening, Kev. I think they were trying to let that slide under the radar, that the plots were shrinking. I don't think they're going to get anything but smaller, because if the smaller they make them, the more of them you'll have to buy, and the more money they'll generate, right? I mean, it just makes sense. It just makes sense there. So let's get into this. Before we go into the details, let's first talk about where we are and what we aim to achieve. We know some players hate PvP. Some love it, and others are in between. If the reward is worth the risk, they'll do it. But the reward really has to be there, and the risk has to be understood. I'm trying to equate this over to other games that I've played. I don't think that PvP always needs to yield the absolute best items in the game. Right? I mean, I'm a firm believer and supporter of, if you want to try and have something for everyone, they need to have their own progression and their own rewards. The way that they're doing it here is they're actually implementing PvP exclusive resources that can only be obtained through PvP. Sure, people will say you can buy them, but what's the incentive to sell the reagents and the ingredients that are going to help your enemies be stronger? So I don't really see a lot of these being put up for sale. And it kind of really ties into PvE then, and it becomes more of a intertwine thing. So they know that some players hate it. They know that some players love it. I would say in PAX Day, with it being a social sandbox, more players want PvE than PvP, especially from who I have engaged with. They really want more PvE as opposed to PvP. There's not a whole lot of interest in PvP in PAX Day. And I think that's because the PvP ends up being naked miners running around just to get ore. It ends up being, people bringing crappy gear or you literally just stab each other to death with left click, spam left click. There's no skill involved. There's no it's just bring a healer, overpower them with numbers, have better gear, you win the fight, or they run away. Like, it's really hard to actually catch anybody right now because there's so much mobility with a lot of the new shoes and stuff like that it's really hard to even secure a kill. The time to kill is very, very long with healers. You end up just running around. You just run around and poke each other with sticks is kind of how the PvP turns out to be. The PvE is actually a lot better. You actually can get a little bit of tactics going in there and have some fun with it, but we don't have bosses, right? We need those bosses. As such, we still think PvP and PAX Day should be a choice and players should have the ability to opt in. This is the part that I don't really agree with. I don't agree that the PvP and PAX Day will actually be opt-in. Now, sure, you could just choose. Now, it's opt-in. It's opt-in if you don't want to have the best stuff in the game. If you just don't want to have the best gear, then for sure it's opt-in. But if you want to have the best gear in the game to be able to fight bosses with eventually when maybe #SoonTM we get bosses, you're going to have to PvP. So they say that it's opt-in, but it affects the PvE players. And I think a lot of people have a problem with that from people who I've spoken with. So they say whether that's through joining a PvP alliance or traveling to a PvP-enabled area in-game. So they're trying to say that your actions are what opt you in. If you go to Lioness or you go to a PvP zone and you're there, you exist there, you made the choice to go there, you've now opted in. Much like how in Ashes, you can PvP anywhere in Ashes of Creation, but you become a combatant, meaning that you can be openly PvP'd with everyone else who's a combatant when you do certain things like steal from someone's ashes when they die, or attacking an innocent person, or helping someone else who's flagged. There's a lot of things that can make you flagged that you have to make the decision to opt into, but you can truly opt out of those systems by going and crafting in town and being able to make the best stuff in the game without having to go in PvP. So it's kind of interesting. You get to choose your level of engagement, but again, much different system there, much different game. I don't think that people really will have the choice to opt in or opt out if they want to have the best stuff in the game. You're going to have to go and do these things. Which again, I don't think there'd be anything wrong with that if the barrier to entry wasn't so high. It takes hundreds of hours to level up your skills to be able to make the gear. It takes hundreds of hours to go and farm all the stuff you need to make enough gear for your group. And now you'll go, so it takes you hundreds and hundreds of hours to produce this stuff just to then lose it in potentially minutes. And then what? You can go spend another hundreds of hours collecting more materials because you lose everything when you die. It's a very, very, very harsh system, and they talk a little bit more about that down below. So let's see what else they have to say. This brings us to PAX Day. The piece of the divine mechanic that controls where PvP is available. At the time of writing this blog, the home valleys and the wilderness are protected under PAX Day, and players are safe from PvP mechanics, while Lioness is a PvP-enabled Forsaken area with no PvP protection. You, as a player, have no control over this, yet. This is interesting because they talk about some very interesting types of buildings out in Lioness. Our goal is to gradually change this over time, introducing elements that make the game more challenging in certain areas. I don't think the game needs to be more challenging in many areas. I don't think many areas of the game need to be harder. Kev says, going to get Ashes of Creation. Kev, if you're going to get Ashes of Creation, please use my referral code. You can use anyone's referral code if you want to, but I would greatly appreciate if you use mine. Again, if you're going to be getting it anyways, I'm not here to sell you on it, but if you're getting into it anyways, if you'd consider using my referral code, you just type !ashes. There you go right there. You click that link. You have to create your account with that link You click that link, it'll open up the web page, and then scroll down and make sure it says 2FB1AA9C at the bottom in the referral code section. Then create your account. Then you can log in and go, and you can go and buy the game. And if you're looking for a guild in there, Kev, the systems over in Ashes are really, really interesting. What server are you on in Ashes? We are in the North America one. What's the name of it? Sheol or something like that? We're on the North America one. I'd like to help build your town. Just bought Ashes. Hopefully, Ronald, you used my referral code when buying Ashes. But yeah, we're on the Sheol. I think it's called Sheol. It's the North America one. Blimpy says, I'm glad I'm getting back into Ashes a bit. Had it on the back burner for a long time. Yeah, I kind of call it the Star Citizen of high fantasy MMOs. But they just did a blog post today. They just did a live stream today. The developers, the founder of the game, Steven, is in the live streams. We watched it on Discord, and it's been a lot of fun engaging with them. I'm still trying to get everything caught up to speed so I can cover more content for that over on the other podcast here on the channel as well on Verifier. But we do have some content if you guys are looking for anything new. But yeah, we are working on Vexhelm. That's the node we're working on. But back to the topic at hand here. They say that the role of PvP in PAX Day is multifold. We want to see the PvP systems result in large alliances being formed, castles being built, and drama unfolding in the field of war and politics with spies, backstabbing, and bribery. It's really interesting that they talk about all this right here. This drama, politics, spies, backstabbing, bribery. Hopefully they mean all in-game stuff, because I know a lot of drama can unfold with these things IRL as well, out of character, things like that. And we have pretty clear rules against out of character, in character separation and stuff like that. But they don't have RP servers over on Ashes or anything like that yet. But yeah, so they want to spark up drama. They want to spark up have people being spies and backstabbing people and bribing other people. It's kind of an interesting statement. Kev says, tired of holding my breath for PAX. It seems they are on a suicide mission with the game. Yeah, it's rough, right, Kev? I'm not going to throw in the towel. I'm going to be here till the very bitter end, like I've told you guys before, and we're going to be talking about all the good, bad, and indifferent things. And I do think there are some good things here in this post. I do think there are some interesting concepts, and I do want to praise those things. But this is really about you guys telling me the feedback on these different topics, these different points. So anything that you guys have to say in good faith, please. So they go on to say, getting to the top leadership position should be hard work. Now, I'm not really sure what they mean by that, getting to the top leadership positions. I'm not sure if they mean leading big guilds or clans or running alliances or what they mean by that, but they're saying that they want it to be hard work, but also obtainable with cunning. A ruler leading the largest army in the game should never have to step onto the battlefield if they have their subjects so choose. Or if they and their subjects so choose. So they're trying to say, if you have enough power or gold or influence or whatever it may be, you can just send everyone else to die for you and you don't have to go die with them. I don't really play that way. I'm the Grand Marshal for a reason. In character, we oppose kings and queens. Out of character, we have the Fellowship of the Free Cities, where you guys can become alliances and stuff like that. In Ashes, we have there's a more fleshed out alliance system, it seems like, with the towns and stuff like that. But in PAX Day, we really have to do out of character alliances and in character alliances and things like that with various different groups. But it sounds like they're trying to say that if you don't want to set foot in the battlefield, you can just pay people to do it or send your army in. They're saying it'll take time, but each update will take us closer to this vision. So every update is bringing us closer to the vision of leaders not having to set foot on the battlefield and having a multi-folded PvP system that has alliances being formed and things like that. We also want to create a system that allows competition and creates tension. So they want tension, they want drama, they want backstabbing, they want all kinds of things going on here. They also go on to say that along multiple axes of the game, not just PvP. Some players should be able to exert physical power while a rich merchant should be able to use their gold for power. See, here's the thing with that though. A rich merchant being able to use their gold for power, what's to stop people from just being paid? And then now they have the gold. There's no enforcement of any of those things in game. They could just be like, oh yeah, give us all this gold. Cool. Okay, yeah, we did the thing. Like, we protected you in PvP, but like not actually. I don't know. It just seems very strange. And how would that person be getting all that gold? How are they going to get all that gold? It's kind of a interesting thing to think about because the markets in PAX Day are not really all that utilized. I mean, you have to pay taxes to some ethereal king, and even though it's your stall on your property and all of these things, and there's more about taxes down below. You guys are going to want to stick with me on this one, but I'm not really sure how people are going to be obtaining gold other than just farming POIs. They're going to PvE POIs, and they are absolutely hack and slashing everything in their way, right? They're taking out all the mobs. That's how they're getting gold. They're going into dungeons, even though there's no bosses, and they're farming those loot piles. That's how they're getting gold. But the gold's not all that useful because people don't really sell. I don't know. The market's a mess right now. What do you guys think about the market in PAX Day? Do you think the market's in a great place? Do you think the gold and the grace and the economy makes sense the way it is right now? Because I think even back when the markets first came out, they didn't really get all that much use. But I don't know what you guys think about the economy. So they say that they want people who have a lot of gold to be able to exert power and stuff like that. They're saying, and they hope that all of this will result in a game where we hope to see a healthy player-driven economy where the competition will lead into destruction and demand of goods, enabling those who love the crafting parts of the game to meaningfully participate and feel their work is appreciated. Here's the problem with that, though. The gear wears out so fast that no one's going to want to continuously buy this stuff. They're just going to make it. So you don't really end up having an economy because we don't have to go well, at least the Order of the Blood Brothers, we don't really have to go anywhere to buy anything. We'll maybe do it out of convenience, but you don't really have to go anywhere to buy anything. You just make the stuff yourself. You just level up, you make the stuff yourself. So where's the economy in that? I guess smaller people are going to be extorted for high amounts of gold because they're not able to get all of their skills up. But then again, you can get all of your skills up. It's just going to be very, very difficult. Whereas Ashes, they have like a lockout system. You get a certificate to be able to make higher stuff, and you can only have so many high-level certificates. Black Pickle says market has been pretty useless since it came out. That's kind of been the census. Salty Veteran says, I don't think the market was in a horrible place. I made around 80K gold off the market. You made 80,000 gold off the market? What were you selling? Because we had all kinds of stuff up for sale, and honestly, no one even bought anything. I mean, we had the Moonlit Market in Bloodhaven, one of the biggest RP hubs, and no one really ever bought anything. I mean, I made copious amounts of gold from, I just headbutted my microphone. I made copious amounts of gold from going into dungeons and just fighting mobs at POIs and stuff. I mean, like tens of thousands, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 gold just from farming POIs. I probably made over 100, 200K because I've given gold away in copious amounts as well to guild members and other people just so they can get grace to be able to enjoy and test out the game and things like that. But so you sold weapons, armor, taking food from cheap places and selling it harder to obtain. I guess, yeah. I guess if you're gaming the market like that, we didn't really have any luck. I mean, Pickle, what would you say you sold in terms of gear? I mean, because you were maxed armorsmith and weaponsmith really early on. Did stuff really sell? I know every now and then some of us would stop by and buy some of the things, but our market stalls kind of really didn't get any use. And our prices, I mean, we were trying to just give stuff away kind of for the most part. So Moon says it's not really gaming though, it's Commerce 101. Oh, talking to Salty. Ronald says the markets are a mess. They need better ways to find what you are looking for across zones so you know where you need to travel to obtain those items. Yeah, I mean, they could just make the market stall thing global. I don't know what they're really going to do with that because it's a pain. And I've even said that I don't even like that system, but I understand how it's a quality of life. I think that having to go to these cities to browse for items, I think is, incentivizing you to come together as a city to want to bring people together in one place and have a market that they can, maybe buy or rent out a stall in, things like that. But we're missing so many permissions that it makes it impossible to really even do that. You can't really have a place where someone can come and put their own stall or whatnot. Salty says, I'd be happy if they implemented a WoW-style auction house. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it? I think that would do the game really good. But then the question is, where does that get run? How do they use that? How do they interact with that? Because everything in this world is made by us. They would have to start implementing like dev cities or a hub city or something like that. And all that's going to do is take away from our city hubs. Then again, I think city hubs are going to kind of be the thing of the past because they're going to cost a lot of money. I mean, Bloodhaven alone would be almost $700 a month just to have all of those plots for Bloodhaven. So I'm not too sure how they would implement that without there being NPCs or some type of city, or maybe they just make it a user interface thing, but then that's kind of goofy. It ruins my immersion. You just pull up a GUI and click through an auction house. At least in WoW, it makes sense because there's NPCs, there's quests, there's areas to go to and talk to the auction house person, put things up for sale. You're going to a city, right? You're going to a hub city already, but everything being made by us kind of detracts from that, from having an actual auction house. Even if they're player-made auction houses, they're not going to function the same, I wouldn't think, because they're not all going to be linked together, are they? So they want to jump into a bit of the detail here of what they're thinking. So they have a map here. Let me bring this up big for you guys. It's a map of the new PvP zone. Right here is a new PvP zone. Let me pull it up for myself nice and big so we can zoom in on some of this stuff. Give me 1 second. They say that Lioness is becoming much larger. The updated Lioness is a full-blown 10 by 10 kilometer area with 5 zones. There's a zone in the middle, and there's one for each of the gates. 4 of the zones are in the corners and contain entry portals with a central zone in the middle, accessible from all 4 corners. They say each area has PvE sites, with the center being significantly more dangerous than other areas. Here's my question. What is the point of these PvE zones? Now, I know that they're talking about putting resources there, exclusive resources, so they're probably putting these resources that they show us down below at these PvE sites. And that's going to be our incentive to have to go there and fight these mobs to be able to get these things that are used for enchanting. What is the risk reward for going into the central zone, let's say, because it's going to be arguably more dangerous? Are they just bigger zones? Because if they're just more dangerous, no one would want to go in the middle. They say that the 4 corner areas will all have Petra Days inside of them, with a PAX Day protected area surrounding the Petra Day. The Petra Day has all the services you would expect with crafters and storage. That's interesting. So the PvP zone is going to be its own starting zone, so to speak. It's going to have Petra Days with all of the basic amenities that you'd expect from the home valleys. How big was Lioness before? They say that it's much bigger, and now it's 10 by 10 kilometer area with 5 zones. How big was it before? Do we know the scale and the size of how big it was before? Because I don't remember exactly how large it was. And this part's very interesting as well. They say the thinking behind making Lioness larger is, as you'll read below, that there's a ton of gameplay that we'll be introducing to Lioness in subsequent updates. This leads me to believe that subsequent updates going forward are going to be focusing on PvP. It sounds like PvE is going to be going on the back burner. That's why bosses and mounts and things like that aren't really coming for us who want to go around and fight world bosses and dungeons and uncover mystery and lore in the world. They're really going to be focusing on PvP. That's what the future updates are going to be about, is all about PvP, according to this. And the church system and all of that stuff is tied in with this a lot from what I've seen as well. So they're making it bigger. Their reasoning behind that is that there's going to be tons of gameplay. They're going to be adding stuff to it, and that requires space. We're looking at the extraction gameplay in Lioness, and with the gameplay that's landing, the larger area was also warranted to allow players to dip in and out with significant risk, with significant PvP risk, but no guarantee of getting caught. It's kind of worded weird here. They're basically saying that they're looking at the extraction gameplay in Lioness, which means that they want it to be an extraction hack and slash. You know, you go in, you get your loot, you have to get out. It's going to be an extraction loop for the game, which is an interesting concept. I never really thought of PAX Day as being an extraction shooter, extraction looter type game, but it sounds like that's really the direction they want to go with it. But the larger area is going to allow you to dip in and out with significant PvP risk, but no guarantee of getting caught each time. They worded that sentence very weird. It sounds like they want it to be bigger, so that way you can make the conscious decision to go into PvP without the risk of always running into someone. To me, this sounds like the opposite of what we want for a PvP system. A PvP system should be welcoming and engaging to where you want to bring people together. You want them to be like, hey, here's a centralized thing. For instance, in World of Warcraft, they have capture points. They have capture points in the world where it brings people together. They have battlegrounds, which people queue up for, bringing people together. In Ashes of Creation, they have caravans that you have to escort, bringing people together. People want to attack it. People want to defend it. It sounds like here they're making the zone bigger, so that way there's less of a chance of you seeing people, so you have an easier chance getting in and out. So it's like their solution to the PvP system is just to make it to where you don't have to, you're not always going to be PvP'd in PvP. I would like to see them flesh out with meaningful systems rather than just try to having people avoid PvP altogether, if that's the direction they're going to be going. Lioness now comes with 2 new resources only found in the area, meaning in Lioness: Amber Grasp and Cannonite. These are refined using alchemy and jewel crafting, which will allow the crafting of sanctified oil. Sanctified oil will be used to enchant any gear with item power. It's going to add up to, get this guys, 125 points boost of item power. Some gear only has like 400. You're going to be adding like 20, 30, maybe even more percentage of power to this gear. You're going to be adding so much power to this gear that this is not an optional thing. If you want to be competitive in PvE or PvP, let's say they add in world bosses and you want to be world first, or they add in raids and you want to be world first, you absolutely must PvP. It's not an opt-in system anymore. Now it is mandatory. Mandatory to get those first dungeon clears. Mandatory to be the first to kill those world bosses. Now, could you edge it out with better player skill? I'm not convinced, because there's not a whole lot of skill that goes into the combat, right? Right now it's at 50%. Let's check the poll. 50% 5, 22% 7, 28% 1. So 28% of 18 votes say that it's the worst combat they've ever used. 50% say it's mediocre or on par. Oh, it just changed. It just changed. You can put your votes in. 19 votes, 32% say it's the worst combat ever. 47% say it's like middle of the road, mediocre, middle of the road combat, and 21% say it's above average combat from the games that they've played. 0% say it's the best combat, or they think it's in a great place. That's very telling. That's very, very telling. So the combat is not very in-depth. So that 125 power boost, that is just going to be absolutely insane. But let's see here on the map. It looks like you have north, east, southwest quadrants here. In the middle is a big, look, you can zoom in really far on this, is a big neutral zone. Looks like there's going to be some type of road network in certain areas. Maybe those are going to be the trade towns. It looks like they are adding some other POIs based on how the roads are leading out to some bigger POI looking things. We can't really see too much on here, at least at this zoom level. Looks like it has a pretty good spread of biomes, which is good. This is a massive zone. This is ginormous. Your chances of seeing anyone out here are going to be slim to none. You're going to have people camping the gates just to find people. That's absolutely going to happen. How do you guys feel about this map? I think your chances, especially with only 180 people even playing the game anymore across all servers, your chances of running into anybody are so slim. I mean, right now, as it is with Lioness being a fraction of this size, it's so slim that you're going to run into anybody. Here, I think really, really few and far between that you're even going to run into anybody. But that's the map. We have a couple other images here. I'm going to pull up this one for you guys. These are two of the new resources. I don't know what this one is. This might be the Cannonite. I'm assuming this is the Cannonite. That sounds like a mineral rock type name. But that's what that stuff looks like. And then we also have the, what do they call this stuff? The Amber Grasp. So this is what the Amber Grasp looks like. And these are going to be refined again by alchemy and jewel crafting. There's not going to be a new profession, and they're going to make that sanctified oil. Is going to enchant your gear right here, guys. Look at that. 125 boost points right there. The enchantment is permanent when applied to the item. The resources can be found in the ground, but are predominantly found as loot on NPCs in the area. And the most lucrative drops. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this is the reason why you want to go to the middle. I like to unpack things as we go through them. So sometimes I'll comment on something and say, well, what's the reason to go in the middle? Well, here's the answer to that. The reason to go in the middle is to get that higher density, the more lucrative drops from those NPCs in the central area of Lioness. So they are kind of focusing people into that middle area there, which has a lot of risks that go along with it. You're further away from the gates, but I think you'll be able to teleport to the gates from my understanding. You'll be able to get away pretty easily, get in, get the stuff, and then just teleport out. You could just teleport home as well, because I wonder if they're going to change that. But right now you could just teleport home for free. They say the goal of this update is to prepare for the future. So #SoonTM, we're going to be getting some other stuff there, but also give you a good reason to venture into Lioness and search for riches. I don't know. Is this going to bring people back? There's 180 people playing right now. How many people do you think are going to stop playing the other games that they're playing right now to go back and play PAX Day? I've talked to many people in the community, outside of our community as well, and they're all playing other things. They're playing Dune, they're playing Ashes, they're playing WoW, they're playing all kinds of other games. Do you think that this is going to bring people back? I think it'll bring some people back. I think some people will go back to check it out. I mean, I myself will probably go there to check it out, but how long do you think that will last? I'm curious if how well this will be received by people, if they're going to enjoy this. There's those two new new ingredients that are going to be part of that enchanting system. We have another image here. I think this is image number 4. Let me pull this up. So this is an image of that increased player power on those items. So you can see in the top right corner, it's 350 base power and then plus 50 from the enchantment. Kev says, I'm playing now. Are you playing PAX Day right now? You're one of the 180 something players? Blimpy says the pricing is making me have second thoughts about playing at launch now. Well, the plots, yeah. I mean, if the game had a lot more to offer, I don't think the price for it is all that bad. I mean, $19, $20 or whatever. Are you using it to build, Kev? Is that what you're doing? Using it as your own little personal Sims building simulator? That's what a lot of people are doing right now. But in terms of meaningful gameplay loops, trying to see if there's anything else in this image that is new. Yes, if you look in their inventory, you can see number 15 down there. They have 15 of it. I think that's going to be that amber material. And then they have some other interesting materials there as well. I don't know, maybe they just changed the icons for the 70th time, because those icons, I've never seen those before. I'm not sure what they are. It looks like a couple new icons there. The gear looks the same for the most part. I think it's just really that enchanting and a couple of those icons that are different. The rest of the UI looks mostly the same. What is that number 10 in the top corner? I feel like we've talked about that before, but what is that number 10? Is that plot tokens, maybe? I'm not sure. Phase 2. Let's see what they have to say here. So this is probably going to be Phase 2. Is that of the game as a whole? Is that Phase 2 of Verse 4? I don't know. Let's see what they're talking about here. While Heartlands and PAX Day are sacrosanct and will not be wiped after the game launch. Wait, hold on a second. That's a confusing statement. While Heartlands and PAX Day will be sacrosanct and will not be wiped after the game launch. Are they saying that the Heartlands are not going to be wiped going into 1.0? Or are they saying that after 1.0 they will not have any further wipes? That's probably what they mean, but it's worded a little weird there. Lioness will feature seasons. So I read a lot of comments. I read a lot of comments on Steam It's all thumbs down on Steam, by the way. It has 0 upvotes. I read a lot of comments over in the feedback room on the Discord, the official Discord. These seasons are something that people have a huge problem with. It being a social sandbox game, it's almost like they're bringing some elements of Dune over with the Deep Desert, where the Deep Desert wipes stuff. But they say that Lioness will feature seasons. The rules and gameplay will change in Lioness between seasons. That's interesting, because do they mean the drop rules? Do they mean the rules of engagement with PvP? Are they talking about what you have to hold and capture at certain points or something? I don't know what they mean by that, but they're saying that the rules and gameplay will change in Lioness between these seasons. The first one will likely last 6 months. So the first season of Lioness will be 6 months long. And then it sounds like they're going to be wiping Lioness. Clean slate, delete it all, start again there. The PvP update after verse 4 will introduce a new mechanic where clans will be able to claim a piece of land in Lioness. This is where it starts to get really interesting now. This is where we get into the meat and the potatoes. You guys are not going to want to miss this stuff. Clans are going to be able to claim a piece of land in Lioness and place plots in the area that they've claimed. So your clan will be able to go into Lioness and claim a section, and then you can then place plots in that section that you've claimed. That's exactly how they said it there. Clans will be able to claim a piece of land and then place plots in that area. So you're still going to have to pay per month for these plots that you're placing in Lioness, because it's just a plot. You have to use plot tokens, right? So then incentivizing people, hey, pony up, pay more money, get those plot tokens going, get that monthly recurring fee going there for those plots. So they're incentivizing you to actually place plots there. I would have liked to have seen capture points that you take over. You'd have less customization because you wouldn't be able to build as freely, or they could have done prefabbed pieces that you could piece together out there. But then I would like to see that and have it just be a gameplay feature. Why have to monetize? Why do you have to monetize people enjoying and playing out there? People are going to see this as pay to win. They're going to see it as, well, I already have my plot placed in the Heartland where I know it's not going to get deleted. And now you can have an advantage because you can afford to have another plot out in PvP. People are going to see this as pay to win, especially when the best resources for the best stuff to make the best gear in the game come from PvP. People are really going to see this as pay to win. The plot will allow building exactly as you were in Heartlands, with the distinction that the plot placement is only available to the members of the clan. Oh, okay, so your clan will take over an area, and then only your clan members can place plots in there. Hopefully we see a permission system with that, because if it's too broad and you don't have permissions to restrict which clan members can interact with that, your land may get eaten up. If it's a limited amount of space in Lioness that you can, claim that piece of land in order to place those plots inside of it. But interesting system here. The plots are going to allow you to build exactly how you can anywhere else, but you can place them in Lioness. The number of spots that can be claimed will be limited. Interesting. How is it determined that someone has access to capture it then? How does it get determined who has the ability to place their plots? Is it just, hey, Blood Brothers was here first, we claimed this? I don't know. But they said there's going to be new mechanics or new mechanisms, they say, where clans will be able to claim. So there's going to be some form of gameplay along with that, it sounds like. To capture a spot, oh, here we go. They go into it. To capture a spot, the clans will have to have access to new resources. Wait, what? To capture a spot, the clans will have to have access to a new resource to pay for the claim and upkeep for the ownership. So we're going to have access to a new resource. What is that resource? How do we obtain that resource? And we're going to have to pay upkeep. So not only are you paying real life money, this was something I was reading as well. Not only are you paying real life money to pay for that plot, you also have to pay upkeep in game now. People are going to be absolutely freaking pissed about this, guys. Why would someone want to pay real money for a plot of land and then also have to pay in-game taxes and upkeep and stuff? Some of the comments I was already reading were going off on this already. They were calling it pay to win. And they were saying that it's not a very fair system. It's not a very fun system. It's just incentivizing people to buy more plots. How do you guys feel about it? Kev, Ronald, you guys big builders, Salty, you guys are big builders, big traders and stuff. How do you see this panning out? Do you see this as pay to win because you're going to have easier access to the things that are the most rare items in the game? Do you see it as kind of double dipping and kind of a slap in the face because you have to pay real life money for that plot on top of having to pay taxes and upkeep now? Otherwise, your plot will go away and decay, even if you're still paying for it. So what happens if you're paying, $7, $8 a month, whatever it is, for your plot to exist, and you don't pay the upkeep? What happens to that token? Is the token lost? Kev says, I don't see it panning out. It would kill the game off. So you think it'd kill the game off if they start charging stuff on top of the fee for the plots, like the real life money for the plots? They say the resource will be constrained in availability. So not only will you have to pay real life money for it, you'll have to pay upkeep of a resource that is constrained in availability. It's not going to be a very highly available resource. And clans who want to own land in Lioness will either be trading or fighting to get access to it. Very, very interesting. I don't know why people would want to have a base out there. There has to be some reason why they would want to. Wouldn't it make more sense, get all the materials and then just hearth home and take those materials back to the safety of the PAX day where you can't be killed and lose all of those materials? Kev says, yes, it's too monetized. Seems to me they're trying to squeeze blood out of a turnip. Salty says, def pay to win in my opinion, but I don't think they will get far enough to where it will matter. Really? What are you, go in more depth on that, Salty. I want to hear more. I want to hear more about that. What do you mean you don't think they're going to get far enough? You think that, what do you think is going to be the breaking point? Expand on that a little bit, Salty. Having land in Lioness will have huge benefits. So they say it's going to have huge benefits. Let's see. Bringing safety. I guess when you go to your land, you will not be flagged for PvP. But again, all you have to do is hearth home, right? Isn't that what the teleporting is supposed to be for? You could just teleport home. So it'll bring you safety, storage. Why do you need storage there? Again, you can teleport home. And crafting to the clan. Again, you can craft at home. What is the need or desire to craft there? Are there bonuses? Do you get more? Are your chests have double the inventory? Does it kill people when they enter your property? Is that safety? Because right now people can just walk onto your property. If you have a plot in PvP, people can literally just follow you until you cross that threshold. You can't keep them off your land, right? I mean, maybe they've thought about this. Maybe they're going to have systems in place to prevent that. Ronald says token lasts for 12 months, then it's lost. Yes, that is another big problem that people were not happy about as well. And we're not really going to talk too much about the monetization here because we have other podcast episodes where we go really into depth on that stuff. If you guys want to talk more about it, we can. But the monetization model, a lot of people aren't happy with that whole you buy a token and it's gone after 12 months thing. I think, little summary, I think that they're doing the whole 12-month thing because they want people to use their plot tokens that they have from early access. We all have these, plot tokens, and they want people to use them. And then they're probably going to introduce a trading mechanic where you can purchase plot tokens for other people and stuff like that. Kev says doors don't even lock. What's the point? That's my point. Yeah, I mean, maybe when they're on your property, they can't attack you in Lioness, but I don't really see that as. I mean, sure, have an outpost there, but is it really all that hard to just collect till you're full like we do now with the steel and then just hearth home, just teleport home with all of that stuff and just have safety, have crafters, have storage? So I'm not really sure why those resources are going to have value to them. I'm not sure what these huge benefits are. And if I'm missing something there, please let me know, guys. What do you think they mean by these huge benefits? I don't really see. Do you see a big benefit to building in Lioness? You're going to have safety, storage, and crafters. We have those already in the home valleys. Tom, how's it going? Welcome in. Red says, ain't nobody going to make Lioness their home when Heartlands are safer. That's my point, Red. Don't you think that people are going to go in there, get the resources, and then teleport out? Moon says, I want a super secret clubhouse in Lioness. I mean, it'd be kind of cool, like for lore, right? We could have like some fight club out there or something. Jimmy with a 2nd out of 5 super chat towards the super chat goal. Jimmy says, would they like a pint of my blood as well? They probably would. I don't know. Jimmy, thank you for the super chat. 3 super chats left till we smash that goal. I can't believe we're already an hour and a half into this. This is where all the meat and potatoes is, though. It's really talking about these new systems that are hashtag soon TM for Lioness. I think the first thing we're getting is we're just getting the new zone and we're just getting the new resources and we're getting the enchanting. I think that's what we're getting with verse 4. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some more systems in there. Maybe they'll let us build out there. I don't think they have all of that ready yet, though. So I think verse 4, which means another season of PaxCast, is going to have to be in order, but I don't think it's going to have the building out there yet. I could be wrong, though. But Jimmy, thank you for the super chats, brother. I really do appreciate you. That helps out more than you guys know. I'm able to stay independent because of all my channel members, and if you guys want to support my work, click that join button down below. I know it's not the most fun stuff having to talk about the downfall of a game and the low player counts and things like that. Over at Ashes, it's a lot more hype. It's a lot more upbeat because they have a lot more things coming out. So make sure you check that development process out as well as my streams on that. It's not fun to have to talk about negative things in a game, right? I don't like to have to sit here and talk about the hard things. And I know that that can be not great, but we have to do it. If it's just all rainbows, we're just living in delusion land. Salty says PAX launched strong now is barely 200 to 300 on Steam. I mean, it's literally 180 right now on Steam on a Friday. The grind is insane. Absolutely agree. The content shallow and the dev communication is super spotty. They can't seem to fix core issues. Could not agree more. I've been saying this for a very, very long time. There's been other content creators as well that have basically started reiterating the same thing. They're like, what's going on here? This is ridiculous. So, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Salty, there. Maven, thank you for the 3rd out of 5th super chat towards the super chat goal. More fun coming, hashtag soon TM. I hope so. I really hope so. Fun for me is dragons. Fun for me is engaging systems. We don't really have a lot of that right now. Jimmy, thank you for the brisket in chat, man. I am hungry. I haven't eaten anything really today. I tried to eat some hot dogs. My stomach's been upset, so I need to get some brisket. Brisket is always the best go-to. I'm going to try and get some brisket today, Jimmy. Thank you for the super chats. They're going towards the brisket fund. You are feeding Voidlock here on the Inner Sleuths by super chatting. I really, really appreciate you guys. I'm going to get some brisket today. I think I'm going to really try. Libby says long weekend Friday. It's been a busy one. Salty Veteran says, and honestly, the game is starting to feel like a paywall. And I really hate that because it's so hard to express, guys. I have so much passion for wanting PAX Day to succeed. I feel like it's a downward spiral at times, though, and that sucks. Blimpy says, I had hot dogs, but I BBQ'd them properly. Yeah, see, I wanted to do that too. I wanted to make some hot dogs, what do they call them? Rattlesnake tails. They're pretty good. But I think I'm going to get some brisket. I really want PAX to succeed, guys, but all of these different things that we're hearing about, Salty, I think you're kind of right. I think they're kind of paywalling this stuff. They're kind of pay to winning the PvP zone. They're forcing you into engagement in the PvP zone by hiding all the best stuff out there. And when we get down into more of these systems, it's going to be a lot more telling as well. So let's get through a little bit more of the article here. So they say it's going to have huge benefits. I don't see it. They say that it's going to be control of this. You're going to be able to let me start over here. They say the claimed spot is likely to act as a respawn shrine for the clan in control on the site. So being in control of that spot next to a good PvE site will be extremely beneficial. I guess, but hear me out. If you die in PvP, someone just steals all of your stuff. What's the point of resurrecting super, super close? I guess you could rearm and redeploy. So even more pay to win there then, because now you're going to be able to redeploy in PvP if you can afford those, if you could just do those microtransactions, or you could just afford to get those those tokens, be able to buy more plots. You could be closer to where the action is, rearm yourself and get back out there. But when you die, you lose everything. So you kind of want to go home anyways and kind of lick your wounds and get some more gear. So I don't know. I mean, they're saying that it's going to be extremely beneficial. What do you guys think about that? I really, really, really want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think it's going to be extra beneficial or extremely beneficial? Do you think it's going to have all kinds of reasons that are going to make people want to claim the land out there? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced on all of that. I think it'll be cool, and you can say, oh, yeah, sweet, Blood Brothers has this control point out there. I think it'll be nice, and it'll be cool, but I'm not sure it's going to be really that beneficial. Because you're going to be taking those materials home anyways. You got to get them home to sell them. You got to get them home to transport them around to different people, different encampments, take them out, have traveling merchants. You're not just keeping them all at that one site. Maybe there's something to be said about refining them on site and then taking them out after. I'm not sure. They did say that they want to make it to where when you go to teleport, if you have rare materials on you, it'll cost you more to teleport. So I don't know. A lot of interesting things going on there. Raven says, I want to eat a chili dog at the top of my castle. William, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. William says, microwaved hot dog is where it's at. Oh my gosh, dude. That's what I tried to eat earlier. It was terrible. Never microwave a hot dog, man. It turns out so weird. I mean, to each their own. Salty says, it will probably be beneficial to have a forward operating base in Lioness. You could collect, refine, and transport after, rearm if necessary, instead of hearthing home. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what my thinking was behind it. It could be used as a fob to be able to rearm. But again, if you're rearming, that means you already lost some good shit. You're already behind. And I guess refining it on site, maybe it will compact down. Maybe when you refine it, you can carry more of it or teleport for cheaper after it's refined. But again, it just really leans into the whole, pay to win thing then. Because now, oh, you can afford another plot out there. Haven says, or even better, brisket on top of a Drills in Mine Castle with all of our friends for a party. That'd be fun. I'd be down for that. Red says, William's spitting hard facts right now. They say they're looking at improving some plot level permissions as part of the work to facilitate creation of safe fortresses. Interesting. I really look forward to seeing what those new permissions on the plot level are going to be. They go on to say, we're looking at changing the rules related to death and property. This is another very, very interesting point here. They say right now, PAX Day forces the same rules everywhere across the game, and the need for corpse run feels very harsh in the Heartlands. See, hear me out on this. I don't think the corpse runs in the Heartlands are harsh. I think that the corpse runs in the Heartland are the least harsh corpse runs in the game. I think that the PvP ones are terrible because you probably lost all your stuff. And I think that the ones in dungeons are consequential because it's harder to get back to your gear. Let me grab a quick drink really quick. Okay, I'm back. So I think that the Home Valley death runs are just literally running back to your stuff. I don't think that those are that harsh, but they're saying that right now. Oh, we got a Tangia coming in.
Salty veteran rice lawn
For $14.
$14. You too can have a home in beautiful Lyonese.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, dude. That's freaking awesome. Thank you for the Tangia, Salty. If you guys want to do other funny Tangias and stuff, type ! Tangia in chat. So hear me out on this. If you die in the Home Valley, I just headbutted my microphone again. Apologies. All you have to do, I'm in this new chair. I'm still getting used to it, even though I've done a couple podcasts from it already. If you die in a Home Valley, all you have to do is run back to your stuff, right? You just pick it up. It's not a big deal. You don't lose anything. It's not that bad. If you die in a dungeon, now we're talking a little more difficult. You got to call in the cavalry. You got to get a rescue, right? You die in PvP, forget about it. You lost your stuff. It's gone. It's all obliterated. People are picking up your stuff, dumping it in the rivers, so you can't even get it back anymore. It's gone. So I think that the Home Valley is the least consequential corpse run. But I digress. Let's see what they have to say. We don't have final details yet, but it's likely that going forward, you will no longer have to make a corpse run after respawning in a shrine in the Home Valley, but also will likely add a small chance of some stackable items being destroyed and will tune the damage to the gear with health. This sounds like they're making the corpse runs, or the removal of the corpse run is actually going to be replaced with a more harsh system. At least when you die in the Home Valleys, you know you can get all of your stuff back. It's not that big of a deal. Now, they're thinking about it. It's not final, but they're thinking about making it to where you're going to have some of your resources deleted for dying in the Home Valley, but you won't have to run back to get your stuff. I don't like that. I really don't like that. There was no chance of losing anything in a home valley before. You could always go back and get your sparkles. You could pull your body to you, get your stuff. Now they're going to make it even more harsh. They're going to remove the corpse run, but they're going to replace items being deleted when you die in the home valleys. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. In Ashes, when you die, 25% of your resources get deleted and 25% drop on the ground as loot for someone who killed you or someone who wants to steal your stuff. They can have the chance to get flagged for PvP by looting it and stuff like that. It has its own systems. Again, much different, but in PAX Day, they're going to be making when you die in the Heartlands even more harsh now. Very, very interesting concept. This image here is actually, this is a good one. Let me pull this up. Uh-oh. Maxwell. Is he coming back? There he is. Another one? Nope, that's it. Thank you guys for the Tangias. Jimmy says, lollipops? We have to become both a bar and grill. Brisket served daily and chili dogs available on weekends. I like that. I'm on board. That sounds freaking delicious, dude. This image here is labeled as trade towns. This is very, very interesting. Below, we're going to start to talk more about them. Well, they call them market towns, but we're going to get to hear more about the market towns soon. But this image is supposedly a market town. It looks like there's a big water wheel there. We have aqueducts. There's some buildings you can see on the lower right-hand corner. We have a tower up in the top left. And this doesn't look like it's player built because we don't have access to those. We don't have a big carousel wheel or water wheel, whatever that is. We don't have a big aqueducts. We don't have some of these things. So I don't think this is player built, but off in the distance, you can see other buildings as well. So I'm not too sure, but this image is labeled as market towns. They say after phase 2. So they're going to introduce verse 4. We're going to have phase 2 of verse 4. And then we're going to have all of this, which is coming after phase 2 of verse 4. So we're probably looking at several months down the road here. But again, remember, they're releasing sometime this autumn. Can you actually see your house, Kev? No. No, you can't. Yeah, just kidding, he says. Okay, I was like, wait, are you actually in that picture, dude? That'd be crazy. This is what's coming after phase 2. We don't have a timeline on any of this stuff, though. Hopefully we get a new roadmap soon so we can do a breakdown of the roadmap. The following features are in the design phase. These are all in the design phase now. So the timing, order, and exact design might still change. That's perfectly okay. But we wanted to give you a glimpse of where the game is going. Spoiler alert, it's going towards PvP. It's all going towards PvP. All avenues, all roads are pointing towards PvP. Feudal houses will allow a clan to flag itself as a feudal house, with the clan leader becoming a knight. Now, again, I'm going to break this down as we go through it. Very cool, feudal houses, awesome. What is this going to mean for us? We're going to find out. But right out the gate, I wish that you could assign someone as the knight. What if the clan leader, like they said before, what if the clan leader is ruling by their riches? And why are they called a knight? What if they don't want to be a knight? What if I want to assign someone else to be my knight? What if I want to anoint someone to be my knight? Knights can swear fealty to each other, and thus forming larger alliances, which will affect the PvP flagging of all players in the alliance. We will likely require that the land and lioness can only be controlled by houses. Let that sink in. They're saying that you will have to make this feudal house. You will have to be a knight. You can form alliances with other knights. We don't know what these alliances are going to do yet. Do the alliances make it so you're not flagged for PvP together? Do the alliances make it to where when someone wages war against you, if war is ever going to be a thing, it flags everybody? We don't actually know. But once you become a feudal house, that's when you'll likely be able to acquire land and lioness. Very interesting. Houses are likely to get the means to claim areas outside of Lioness. This was another thing that people were absolutely pissed about because it's imposing things on people. But listen to this. Houses are likely to get the means to claim areas outside of Lioness as their, quote, sphere of influence and gain benefits such as taxation rights in these areas. This sounds an awful lot like knights will be able to claim areas even in the home valleys now, and then they'll be able to tax you. So Kev, you build your castle in whatever zone it is, Bronnier, and then hypothetically we take over that zone because we're a big clan, we have the feudal house and stuff, I'm the knight, we have alliances and things like that. I take control of Bronnier. Well, now Bronnier has high taxes or something. I mean, I would never do that, it's hypothetical, but that's what it sounds like. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about these feudal houses and these knights, these leaders of these alliances being able to claim areas in the home valleys and then charge you taxes? Very, very interesting. They say, however, doing this will open up the alliance towards war declarations, with the alliance being flagged for PvP also outside of Lioness when at war. Really interesting stuff here. We don't have too much details on it, but they say that doing that, taking over a sphere of influence, will open the alliance up to war declarations. And if someone chooses to declare war on you, it will flag you for PvP everywhere. Interesting. How many people would like to engage with that system? Especially knowing that you can't lock your doors and things. But they did say that they're going to be working on plot permissions. Maybe that means like no one can enter your plot unless they have permission. Maybe you can lock your doors and stuff. Kev says, I honestly think they are overcomplicating the game when they can't even implement simple stuff. Kev, what would be the number one thing you'd like to see implemented into the game? What is something that you would like implemented into the game? Like a nice feature or something like that. I would like world bosses and PvE content and stuff like that. What would you like to see, Kev, added in? What would everybody like to see added in? Jimmy says, in a super chat, our 4th out of 5th super chat. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you very much for that. He says, can I just recruit someone for one night? You want to recruit someone for one night? I think they're talking about a different type of night, Jimmy. Kev says no trees and foundations. That's what you like? That's the feature that you'd like to see the most added in is no trees and foundations? I'd be down with that. I'd like to not have trees in my foundations for over a year now as well. They've been hashtag Sooning TMing us with that for over a year now. That's crazy. So that's the feudal houses. There's a lot to break down there, a lot to talk about with that. Let me hide this image for you guys so you can see this post here again. That's the feudal houses we just read. This brings us now to market towns. Jimmy, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate you. Market towns will change the area around the Petridae and Lioness. The areas will stay as safe harbors inside Lioness and feature plots that allow building, where the plots elsewhere in Lioness require combat for ownership. The plots in the market towns will use economic competition, and you will be bidding gold against other players for control of these plots. We're looking at making these areas central trading hubs and are likely to make changes related to speed travel and resource transportation as the towns come online, but don't have exact details to share on that yet. Oh, my internet looks to be cutting out. I'm going to wait for it to recover here. Come on, internet, you can do it. Come on, internet. I got someone coming in 2 days to look at the internet. It's falling off a cliff. 10,000 missed frames. Come on, internet. Sorry about that, guys. I have someone coming in a couple days to look at it. The internet's been absolute turtle dookie over the past couple of weeks. Oh, it kind of recovered. Nope, it's going down again. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water. Hopefully this will sort itself out here in a minute. It's still lagging a little bit here, guys. Can you hear me all right? Is it still coming through? I'm showing only 8,000 kilobits up. Normally it should be around 30, 25, 30. A lot of dropped frames. Am I choppy? Is my voice choppy to you guys? Oh, you can hear me okay? We can keep going then, as long as it doesn't drop out entirely. It held out for most of it, hour and 40 minutes in. It's not bad. It keeps dropping though. I am coming through clear. Okay, good. Perfect. We'll keep going then. I'll keep an eye on it. We'll monitor it. So these market towns, these you're going to be able to bid on. Whoever has the most gold, you're going to be able to take that gold and bid on controlling these market towns. The problem with this is the gold is highly volatile, and it's going to be done through RMTs. You're going to have real money transactions where people go to websites and purchase gold for real money to be able to do these things. I'm not a fan of when PvP systems are manipulatable by RMTs. Now, this is a very difficult thing to get around in video games. Even all the way down to people paying other good players to boost them and stuff like that in WoW. It's a really big problem. I don't know how they fix it entirely. I don't think it can be fixed entirely. But these market towns are going to be bidded on with gold. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I want to hear from you guys mostly in this, because you guys know how I feel about a lot of this stuff. I think it's kind of going down the wrong path a little bit. A lot of these systems are kind of frustrating to see. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from the community. Chime in. How do you guys feel about being able to bid on these things? Salty says, I would absolutely purchase gold to control those, so I can say definitely that it will happen. Winky face. I think that's part of the problem, Salty. You're not helping. But yeah, no, that's exactly the problem, right? I see that being a big problem with people just doing RMTs, buying gold to be able to, control these. But you can see how the systems are kind of funneling together now, right? These feudal houses are going to be able to tax people, get that tax money, use it to buy market towns, and just... I'm cutting out, Salty says. Hopefully I'm not cutting out too bad. There it goes. It should be back now. I see green. I see green. I think we're back. I think we're good. Fingers crossed, guys. Knock on wood, knock on whatever you need to knock on. It's dropping again. We're going to try and get through this. Just got to bear with me. Kev says, ESO market bidding is market bidding all over again, like Salty said. I never played Elder Scrolls Online besides in the beta and the alphas and stuff like that. I never played it in live because it didn't seem like very much my style. But did they have something like that as well and it didn't work out very well? Salty says, yeah, Kev, first thing it reminded me of was Elder Scrolls Online clone. I'm good now. I think it's cutting in and out. I don't really have too much control over it right now, unfortunately. Red says, world bosses and systems that cater to people in a sandbox setting, not this linear crap that puts you in a box that restricts your freedoms to play how you want. RP how you want. Well, they did address the RP clothes. They said we're going to be getting our RP clothes back, #SoonTM, so that's great. At least we'll be having our clothes back soon. At least, well, they said one outfit, I think. Maybe we'll get more. Kev says, I still play ESO. If you like markets and stuff, I think you'll really like Ashes, Kev. If you've been following Ashes for a while, I think you really like Ashes. You should hop in there with us. Come over to CBU, get verified status, join our guild, have some fun, man. It's going to be a great time. So those are the markets. You're going to be able to pay to win those markets there. We have parishes. Oh, looks like we're down near the end here. Parishes will allow players to form an alliance to enable priests to collect large amounts of grace. So we have different types of alliances going on here. You have the knights, the guilds making alliances. Now you have parishes with priests making alliances. You got alliances here, alliances there. We don't know how these systems are going to play yet. It's a big circle of alliances and parishes, and priests are blessing stuff. They're going to be collecting lots of grace. We're looking at enabling the priests to not only cast new, very expensive miracles, but also to control PAX Day with altars, securing claimed sites and lioness for PvP. Interesting. Very, very interesting take. This stuff's, again, all of this stuff ties into the PvP system. The end game of PAX Day is PvP, guys. You heard it here first. The end game in PAX Day is PvP. Salty, thank you for the 5th out of 5 super chat towards our super chat goal. He says, RP clothes are great. RP servers are even better. Listen up, you little devs. I love RP servers. I love RP clothes. I love RPing. It seems like they're going the opposite direction from that, though. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't even have an RP server at launch. It sounds like it's really, really going towards PvP, the end game of PAX Day. If there's any takeaway from this at all, the end game is PvP in PAX Day. So these miracles will be big miracles you can do. They're going to be tying into stuff in Lioness, which I thought they said that they were going to keep some of these things separate. But we are looking at new positions of power where priests can anoint members of the feudal houses into new positions. It's a lot of very vague things. We don't know what any of these systems actually look like. How do you become a priest? How do you do anything with a parish? They're kind of telling us, well, these are the things that we're thinking of trying to implement, but we have no real details on how they're going to be implemented, and all of it's coming #SoonTM. I think the first things we're going to get is the exclusive PvP resources. We're going to get the new PvP zone, and maybe we get the ability to build in Lioness. I'm not sure. Red says, to me, it feels like the devs are backseating how someone else is playing an RPG. And I sure as shit don't care for anyone's opinion on how I choose to play a game. Well, that's the reason I like games that have a lot of ways where you can play them. It's why WoW feels so good, right? You can go around and just be a pet tamer. You can go around and just PvP. You can go around and just PvE. You can just do dungeons. You can just do raids. You have all these options of ways you want to play the game and enjoy it. You can just roleplay, purely roleplay. You have so many different options. But it seems like in PAX Day, everything ties back to PvP. I mean, go back and listen to all the things we just talked about. Look at all the different systems. They all point to PvP. Salty says there's something to be said about RP PvP servers, though. There really is, actually, and I have no problem with that. Absolutely, I love PvP. The systems have to be good. There has to be some separations of those systems there, in my opinion. But RP PvP servers, those were my favorite servers back in the day. RP PvP servers, that's the way to go. You can roleplay. Everyone is at least on the same understanding that roleplay is going to be taking place, so they know the space that they're entering in, and all the people there at least understand that there is some level of PvP, risk-reward going on there. I love RP PvP servers. So that's what parishes are. It's basically endgame PvP. Market towns, endgame PvP. Feudal houses, endgame PvP. Alliances, endgame PvP. It's all endgame PvP, guys. Red says they are force-feeding PvP. That's what it seems like. And they're trying to do it in a way where they're saying that they're really not, but it really does look like it. From all the people I've chatted with, it really is. They're hammering home on the end game of PAX Day is going to be PvP. So you better enjoy PvP. You better have your wallet ready to pay to win for all of these things, and you better be ready to PvP. Sure, there's something to be said if you just want to walk around and not have any alliances or any access to any of these systems back in town. You absolutely can, and you can just do what we've been doing already and just role play. You absolutely could do that. You're not gonna be able to do dungeons as effectively as the PvPers because they're gonna have access to those exclusive resources. Red says PvP will be endgame, and that's horse shit. If I want PvP, I'll do a 0 to hero run on Tarkov. I mean, and here's the thing, again, I'm not opposed to PvP if the systems are engaging and fun. Ashes has a whole hell of a lot of PvP. We've already been getting into it, but the combat is so good in Ashes. I mean, I'm talking next level, feels so good, feels so fluid. Actions and movement have meaning, and dodges, really, really fun. All of your abilities have checkmates and CCs, and with your crowd controls and stuff, they have really good system going there. It's going to be hard for them to keep it balanced as they go forward, but it feels really, really good. So you're more willing to engage with it. When you die, you don't lose all of your stuff. You lose portions of it. It's not so harsh. You can choose what you want to risk and what you want to get as the reward. It really feels quite good. So I'm not opposed to PvP. In fact, I really, really do enjoy it, especially when they have good systems. Red says PAX Day combat is spam. I mean, pretty much, yeah. They took our auto attack for the third swipe and put it in as a Q ability. So now we have to push more buttons to do the same things we did before. There is some new spells. I'm not going to say it's all bad. Again, I don't want people to think that I'm just harping on it, right? I really want this game to succeed, but I just continually see them going down a path that I personally, and the vast majority of individuals that I've talked to, don't like seeing it go down that path. I have a clan with over 280 members. I have a community of over 450. We have almost 1,400 people here on the channel. I've talked with so many people, and the vast majority of them say the same things. I'm not just, trying to be a hater here. Jimmy says, I hate PvP. I've had enough trouble with regular gameplay. I completely get it. Yeah. No, I completely get it. And you want to be able to enjoy the certain aspects of the game like PvE without having to be forced to do PvP. At least with how the systems are currently. So it's interesting to see the way that it's unfolding. They say, get ready for a new PvP era. As you can imagine, these updates require a lot of work. And guys, don't forget, they're a tiny team. Their team is so small. I'm being facetious. I'm kind of just being a jackass now at this point. I apologize. Their team's not that small. They love to say that a lot, though. They love to say how small their team is. Their team's really not that small. They had 80 devs up until recently. It's a pretty decent sized team. But these things are going to take work, right? I'm sure they're going to see this and they're not going to like my content even more because of the things I have to say. But I am echoing the things that have been said by so many people before me. So many people in the community who were once such diehard fans of PAX Day, who still want to see it succeed. I'm echoing those things. And I'm giving everyone here a platform. I mean, let's end this poll here. Let's see. Let's see how this poll looks. Where's it at? 23 votes. 4% say it's the best combat they've ever experienced in a game. 21% say it's above average. 30% say it's the worst combat they've ever had. And 43% say it's middle of the road, about average. So that's for the combat. That's the combat system alone. And the combat has arguably undergone the most polish, right? I really, really hope that they can pull this off. I understand that they're going to have strong feelings about the things I have to say. Everyone wants a shill. They want to have a shill who's going to just only talk about the good things. They're not going to talk about the bad things. They're going to cover for them. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sit here. I'll take the hits. If people want to unsubscribe, that's fine. I'll take those hits. I want to talk truthfully about these systems. I want to give honest criticism that can help the game be all that it can be. I want to help it succeed. And if I have to take some hits for that, if the devs don't like me for that, if other communities don't like me for that, that's all perfectly fine. I have too much of a moral compass. I call myself a moral extremist. I am here to do what's right and to talk about all of the hard things to talk about. You guys deserve that. Everyone in the community deserves that. We need to be able to criticize things in order to get it to a better place. This is not irredeemable. This is not irredeemable, but consistently they've been going down the wrong path. That's why it looks hopeless to a lot of people. I don't want us to feel hopeless, but there are so many other games out there. You guys should really not worry about the future of PAX Day. You shouldn't worry about it. Keep up with it, pay attention to it, but don't worry about it. There are some people, it got to be so stressful for them, they had to leave the community altogether. They had to leave the PAX Day Discord because it just got to be too stressful. I get it. I understand. Did the stream die? I'm not too sure. Hopefully not. But I get it. Not everyone can take the stress of what's going on right now with a game that they thought was going to be their forever game. There's a lot of high emotions and tensions right now, but I want everyone to know my stance on all of this. I am here to talk about the truth with you guys. I'm here to give you guys a platform to, in good faith, communicate with me and with the devs and get that information out there. We all want this game to succeed. We are rooting for you, Mainframe. We are trying to help. I know that when you see me make streams like this, it can't feel good, but I'm doing all this in good faith. Every criticism I have is in good faith because I want the game to succeed. I still stand by it. I think if we can sit down and chat and have an actual unscripted chat about the game's development, build up some of that good faith with the community again, really let people know how these systems are shaping up, have a little more transparency, communicate a little better, we could get back on track. Fingers crossed. I am really, really hoping that we can get this back on track, or that they can get this back on track. We're along for the ride, right? We don't have the reins. We're not steering this ship here. Moon says, keep doing what you do. I'm gonna. It can be hard at times. I'm not gonna lie. I get hate mail daily from fanboys saying, I don't watch your stuff anymore. I unsubscribe. That's fine. Unsubscribe. I don't watch your stuff because you're so negative. I'm not, though. I'm just realistic, right? I'm hoping soon we're going to have some fresh perspectives here on the channel. Didn't work out quite tonight. I might have a guest on at some point in the near future. We may do another podcast episode where we have a guest. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see that it all pans out. We'll get some fresh perspectives. I'm trying to not just be super negative about it, but it's hard when we have to talk about a lot of negative things, you know? Maven says, seriously, that rank person is basically a stalker lackey at this point. Oh, wait, hold on, did I miss something? Z says, I left the PaxCast Discord because the Black Company guy who has to comment on everyone else's comments. There's a lot of toxicity over there. They don't really do a great job to moderate it all. I call some people out who are clearly trolling. Like when there was the whole roleplay thing and they were getting rid of the roleplay server, I did a petition for it. People were laughing and mocking the roleplay community. I stood up for the roleplay community. I got hate mail for it. That's fine. I don't care. It is what it is. But I called people out for being trolls and trolling the RP community. I got silenced for 3 days over there on the Discord because I called someone a troll. They said you can't name call, but people can openly and freely pick on other people and bully them, right? That's the part that needs to be better moderated. They have moderators over there. They need to start doing their job because people get picked on. And look at Z just said he left the official PaxCast Discord because of all of it. They need to do something about that. They really need to do something about that. What else do they say here? Any closing words? They say the new era for PaxCast PvP will start with the new Lioness and Enchanting. Following this, we'll be adding Building a Lioness with more to follow. So that's verse 4 is going to be Enchanting and the new Lioness map. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be those 2 new resources, a couple recipes to be able to make those enchantments at the tables, and the new zone. That's all we're getting with the new verse 4 update. And they'll be adding Building a Lioness, #SoonTM. They say they want their feedback, but I wouldn't be surprised if that thread closes. They've been closing threads when people get too heated in there. But go give your feedback in there if you're still a part of it. Give your feedback here on the channel. If you guys ever want to talk about something, if you ever just want to sit down and chat. Kev says he left as well, the official PaxCast Discord. It seems to be a thing going on. Raster says, genuine YouTuber, go Void, smash that thumbs up, folks. I really appreciate that, Raster. I try to be as genuine as possible. I get it, the fanboys aren't going to like me. Well, I'm not here to appease anybody. I'm here to talk truth, right? And I appreciate that you guys appreciate that. And thank you for all your continued support. Without you guys, this would be a whole hell of a lot harder. You guys fund this. You fund the private servers. You fund the Discord management for CBU. You fund everything. So I really, really appreciate it, guys. If you really want to help support my work, the way you do it is click that join button. I know I've said it before, and I'll have to say it again. Unfortunately, I don't like to try to pitch you guys stuff. It does come along with some perks, a lot of fun stuff. You get representation, you get all those stars. I see a bunch of stars out there. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And that's why I'm able to bring you guys these unbiased opinions on things. So I appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate all the channel members and things like that. You guys are great. Maven says, don't forget to hit the like button. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Maven. Jimmy's hitting us with a brisket heart brisket. I really hope I can get some brisket. I'll have to call my wife, see if she can pick up some brisket on the way home. Oh man, brisket sounds so good right now. I mostly do carnivore diet. I do a little bit of paleo, but it's mostly carno. And brisket's my go-to, man. It's delicious. Absolutely great. Feel great when I eat it. I'm looking forward to getting some brisket. Red says, I want to LARP with Ostrich. It's some random ass Renaissance fair. Well, if you guys want to LARP, I'm not going to be LARPing, but if you guys want to, tomorrow, going to be at the Renaissance Fair. Bristol Renaissance Fair in southern Wisconsin. Look it up. If you guys are in the area, come on out to the Renaissance Fair. I'd love to meet you guys. I have some giveaways and stuff that I'll probably end up keeping them in the truck because they don't let you bring a lot of stuff in. Maybe I'll be able to put them in my pocket or something. I got a bunch of giveaways for you guys, little Order of the Blood Brothers emblems and stuff like that. Some fun things, but that's where I'm going to be. If you guys are looking for a great and honest, good faith community, coming over and join the Cheeky Buggers United. We've been playing Ashes of Creation and Dune and other stuff and having a bunch of fun. Type !! Discord in chat. Lippy says I have a wedding to go to. Oh, okay. Gotcha, man. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe no one shows up. It was kind of short notice, but I am going to be there. We go every year. I'd love to meet you guys, hang out, have some fun. Kind of like a bar citizen. Their final words are, whether you're looking to dominate the battlefield, build an economic empire in the market town, or just survive in the wilds, there'll be something for every PvP player with these changes. Well, there will definitely be something for every player that's involved in PvP, because every avenue points to PvP for PAX Day. The real fight for Lioness will soon begin. We'll see about that. If there's going to be enough people who really care about that to want to go forward with it. The end game of PAX Day, guys, is PvP, and you heard it here first. If you guys want to be a part of a great community, again, join the Cheeky Buggers United. If you're looking to get into any of our clans or guilds or orgs, Kev, if you're getting into Ashes and you want to join the guild over there, go to our website, ! Website in chat. You'll get a link over to it. Like I said at the beginning, you'll get a link over to the website, www.cheekybugger.net, where you can fill out your very own application to join the Order of the Blood Brothers. Once you get into the community, you can join any clans, guilds, orgs, and things like that we host. Love to have you guys. We're playing all kinds of fun stuff together. If you're getting into Ashes for the first time, make sure you use my referral code, though. It's got really big implications. Big kick. It's like 15% of everything you spend comes back as like an in-store currency that I hopefully will then be able to use to do like giveaways and stuff here on the channel. So I greatly appreciate that. Let's check the numbers. Did they go up? It's a Friday evening. We refreshed this 2 hours ago. 192 went up, guys. They gained like 12 new players. 287 peak. It's a rough time for PAX Day, guys. But I'm going to be here every single step of the way with you, talking about the news, talking about the good, bad, and the indifferent, and everything in between in a good faith environment. And if that sounds good to you, please click that subscribe button and help out the channel. I greatly appreciate it. I have been your host, Voidlock, and I'm going to go try and get some brisket tonight. Hopefully we can, but I've been your host, Voidlock, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys, after all this gets processed and maybe we get another FAQ or some more info, I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm also looking forward to the next episode of Verifier. Verifier is the podcast for Ashes of Creation. If you guys are looking for info on Ashes, make sure you go check out my content on it. I got a bunch of stuff going on for Ashes here. A lot of things in the works. It's a lot of work. I'm trying to keep up with all of it. They put out content quick, and it's hard to keep up with all that stuff. I'm doing my best. We're down in Vexhelm. Come on down to Vexhelm over on the North America server. Help us build up our node and have a bunch of fun making friends along the way. But that is going to do it for me for this one, guys. Until I see you guys in the next one, and or tomorrow at the Renaissance Fair. Bye for now.
Took our oaths for all to see. Upon the blood dagger, we gave freely. You broke the bond, now we don't grieve. On the blood list you shall be. You were a brother, promised and sworn. Now you're a curse that must be cleansed. You turned your back, broke your oath. Pray Veil Scavard forgives you in the next realm. On the blood list you are named, hunted by bloodhounds you shall be. They hunt in shadows dark and deep, no shelter left, no friends, no sleep. Your days are forfeit. Oathbreaker, you chose to be. Your words were lies. treason promise you dare to sever has sealed your fate in the worst of ways. The debts in blood you must repay. Now you carry the curse in your dark soul. On the blood list you are named, hunted by bloodhounds you shall be. They hunt in shadows dark and deep, no shelter left, no friends, no sleep. Your days are forfeit. Oathbreaker you chose to be. We are the oath you couldn't forsake. The wolves behind each step you take. From watchful prairies to forest deep, your